Justice, we've got to do something. You don't even resemble the brave son of Senator Antonio, who entered Jerusalem only a few months ago. It's time to return to Rome before those superstitious Jews convince you that a dead man can actually return from the grave.
Father, I saw him. I really saw him.
Slow down, Julius. Now calmly tell us what you're so excited about.
This afternoon, me and my friends were playing soldier just outside Jerusalem when I saw two men coming down the road. As they got near us, I noticed a third man had joined. I saw him. I really saw him.
You saw whom, Julius?
I saw Jesus.
Julius, you shall never mention the name of that dead man again.
But Mother, he's alive.
You only thought you saw him. You shall never mention the name of that dead man in this house again. Do you understand?
But Mother...
Do you understand?
Yes, Mother.
Jesus was alive, and justice could deny the truth no longer. Overpowering fear was the constant companion of justice, and that fear was driving him insane. As a last resort, Helena went to Pilate secretly and convinced him that his governorship would be in danger if Justus, the son of a powerful Roman senator, were to stay in Jerusalem any longer. The next day, Justus received orders from Pilate to return to Rome. When Justus boarded that ship bound for home, he found himself wishing that all memory of the past few months could be left behind. Although he realized that Jesus must be God, Justus refused to make Jesus his God. When Justus finally set foot again in Rome, his spirit revived. He renewed his loyalty to the gods of Rome by offering many sacrifices in the various temples. He busied himself with all kinds of activity in an effort to crowd out the memory of Jesus. 5 years after Justus and his family arrived in Rome, Helena died while giving birth to a beautiful baby girl named Alyssa. And little Alyssa became the idol of her father's heart. Many years passed, and Justus succeeded his father as president of the Senate, and he became one of the most wealthy and powerful men in the entire Roman Empire. Julius, following his father's example, became a centurion and was sent far to the east. Alyssa grew to be a lovely young woman with long auburn hair and deep green eyes. She was small in stature and very beautiful in appearance. Justus adored her. Even when Alyssa was almost old enough to marry, Justus cautiously guarded her innocence like a rare jewel. For you see, purity was rare in Rome. A new emperor had taken the throne who was well liked at first, but with time became more and more wicked. In the emperor's own estimation, he himself possessed 3 divine virtues. He was history's greatest poet, musician, and lover. He surrounded himself with evil women and weak men who nurtured his base appetites and lavished praise on his meager abilities.
Hearken, critics, I shall bless thee with my most latest treasure. I spied a gem of beauty rare, with cheeks of pearl and auburn hair, with emerald eyes of softest hue, with sparkle like the morning dew. So small and delicate was she that I thought this gem a dream to be. Such charm the gods could not resist, shall soon be mine ere she exists. Well, Senator Antonio, what do you think of my latest composition?
Tis most clever, noble emperor.
Ah, must wise men be so dull? Oh, wise Petronius, what do you think of my newest creation?
It's terrible.
What?
It's terrible that one man should possess so much of the world's artistic ability. Such beauty makes the gods envious. Thy verse makes mortal men croak like frogs, as thy stanzas soar on the wings of grace and splendor. It must be frustrating to know that there's no one that can compare with thee. No one can challenge thy matchless ability.
Ah, yes, 'tis most difficult indeed. That is why I love thee, Petronius, for only thou canst appreciate my true work of art. But honestly, is there any slight changes you would make to my composition?
Does an eagle ask a sparrow how to fly?
I stop for want of criticism.
I shall venture but one humble observation.
Oh, speak on, wise
I
one.
question whether any mortal woman's beauty is worthy of thy divine poetry.
Oh, thou dost speak truth, noble sage. With great art must have great subject matter.
Oh, incomparable genius. Quickly, historians, write that down. It must be preserved for all ages to come.
And did you see how quickly that came to me too? Now what was I? Oh yes, great subject matter! Herein lies my problem. This city, these crowded streets, these crude buildings, and the odors stifle my nose. They hinder my artistic ability. Oh, that an earthquake would destroy Rome so that I may rebuild it and make it a work of art. Why doesn't some angry god burn down the city or something?
Most divine Nero, why dost thou speak of the gods?
Go on.
Art thou not a god? And think that great music thou could compose if thou were inspired by a spectacle like the burning of Rome.
Such stupid babbling, Petronius, will bring poetry to life and put people to death.
Now the learned senator decides to speak. Just as sometimes I wonder whom you love more, the people or the emperor.
It would not be in the emperor's best interest to destroy the lives of those who love and serve him.
Just as some things are worth more than the lives of your precious peasants.
Oh, well said, Petronius. What to think? Ah, yes. If life was not full of beauty, then life would be empty.
I beg thee, blessed Caesar, do not speak so loudly. If thou shouldst strain thy golden voice, the world would never recover from such a great loss.
Well, Justus was used to such absurd talk in the palace. However, Nero's song stuck in his mind. Even with all of his other women, Nero wanted Alyssa. He wanted to defile one of the few pure things left in Rome. However, there was one obstacle in Nero's path of evil: Senator Justus Antonio. Although Nero had been responsible for the slaying of many senators, he was hesitant to order the murder of Justus. Nero didn't fear Justus, but he feared the people. You see, Justus was one of the few honest men left in the Senate, and so he was popular with the citizens of Rome. Several days later, though, the house of Justus was unexpectedly filled with rejoicing, for Julius had returned to Rome.
You look well, my handsome brother.
You were even more beautiful than I remembered, your sister. Certainly all the noble men of Rome must be battling for your favor.
Yes, in fact, we're in the midst of a battle right now.
Oh, well, what is this young man's name?
Nero.
Nero. That scoundrel. So that devil wants to defile my sister? I will slay this noble for the sun rises tomorrow!
Have patience, Julius. I do not wish to lose both of my children at the same time.
But father, we must do something.
Can't you see, that's exactly what Nero wants. If we give him an opportunity to question my loyalty, I shall be killed, and Alyssa will be left defenseless.
My dear brother, we must do as father says. We must not antagonize the emperor. We have known of Nero's desires for several months, and he has successfully avoided his grasp.
Come, my children, this is a day of rejoicing. Let us not dwell on such unhappy thoughts. Now tell us, Julius, what has brought you to Rome?
Oh yes, well I was given the charge of a prisoner at Caesarea who had appealed to Caesar. After a long trip with many hazards, we finally reached Rome late yesterday. Early this morning, I turned him over to the captain of the guard.
What is this man's crime?
Oh, he's a Christian.
Many months of joy followed. There was only one thing which clouded the happiness of Justus. His son had developed a great fondness for the prisoner he had brought to Rome.
Julius, you have been visiting this prisoner far too often. Do you realize Caesar has eyes everywhere? Your visits with this prisoner must stop before you give Nero the excuse he needs to destroy us and seize your sister.
Father, let me ask you something. Is your fear for Alyssa, or is it just for yourself?
Those are cruel words, son.
I'm sorry, Father, but you know you've never been the same ever since Jerusalem. Alyssa still tells me you still wake up in the middle of the night screaming about that Jesus.
Yes, I will carry those haunting memories to my grave.
But you don't need to fear, Father. Will you speak with Paul?
I cannot.
No one would need to know about it, Father. Not even the servants. Paul is being kept in a house next to a large inn called the Fisherman's Rest. There's a large underground room below the inn that also extends under his house. I am allowing him to speak to a gathering of Christians there in that large cabin.
Why are you telling me this, Julius?
Because I want you to come to the meeting.
But what good would that do?
Paul is a remarkable man, Father. I've seen him heal people with all manner of diseases. I've seen him bitten by a deadly snake, yet he suffered no harm. But more importantly, Paul has seen Jesus, and he can lead you to him also.
But Julius, I crucified Jesus. What will your friend Paul say about that?
No, Father, you don't need to mention that. Okay, tomorrow night put on a long hooded cloak and go into the Fisherman's Rest. After you enter, go to the long counter and ask to speak with the owner. When the owner appears, you must first draw a sign of a fish on the countertop like this. When the owner speaks the words, "He is risen," you must reply, "And he liveth forevermore." I will try and meet you at the counter.
Julius, you're asking me to risk everything. If it were discovered that I attended such a meeting, we would be ruined. Is my peace of mind worth such a great price?
No, Father, but your eternal soul is.
Alyssa!
I'm sorry, Father. I can't help but overhearing. Please go to this meeting. Julius has told me so much about Jesus, and I've even thought of becoming a Christian myself. But I can never do anything to hurt you. Please go, Father.
Justus didn't sleep at all that night. Even after more than 30 years, nearly every time he closed his eyes, he saw the compassionate eyes of Jesus gazing upon him. The next day, Alyssa sent the head servant to find a long, dark-hooded cloak for her father to wear. Then late in the afternoon, at Alyssa's urging, Justus set out on foot for the Fisherman's Rest. Soon, Justus found himself inside the inn, standing at a long counter.
I would like to speak to the owner of the Fisherman's Rest, please.
You are speaking with him, kind sir.
Yes, I'm told there's to be a meeting here tonight.
There are many men that meet around my tables discussing the business of Rome. Whom do you seek? He is risen.
And he liveth for... I cannot speak those words.
Okay. I will take responsibility for this man. Do not worry, he will not betray us. Come with me, sir. I'm sorry I was delayed, Father. I'm glad you've come. No one will know of your presence. At the end of this hallway, you must go through the small red door and follow the stairs downward. If you wish to speak with Paul alone, you must wait until everyone has gone. From this moment on, you will act as strangers until we meet again at home. I must go now and be with Paul.
As Justus descended the long flight of stairs into the cool, moist darkness, he could see many lanterns glowing. Then he heard singing. Such singing as he'd never heard in the temples of Rome. Soon he could distinguish the forms of people, scores of people, hundreds of people. As the singing grew more intense, all eyes turned upward as if imploring some unseen God.
He
tried to destroy him when they nailed his body to the cross. But 3 days later, Jesus conquered sin and death when he arose from the grave. Our God has conquered, and we shall also conquer. Our Jesus Christ has risen, and we shall also rise. Fear not, brethren, for Jesus is alive forevermore.